Hmm. Oh, right. This will probably be a quick one as well, because there is a loud, fluffy cunt currently doing the rounds. Because I had to feed her early yesterday, because I was trying to put flea shit on her. And, I put food down. I was like, all right, eat that. When I quietly put this shit on your neck, I got one drop before she bolted like 2 feet backwards and was like, nope, fucking, food time is sacred. So, yeah, she's currently thinking, oh, well, it's time for food now. And it's like, oh, yeah, you big prick. Hey! Yeah, that's right, I'm fucking talking to you. Anyway, good news! I'm no longer waiting. The waiting is done. So, yeah, I went to go see me dad today. And I'm glad I did it. Like I said, I've been like for like the last week, fucking, I've been gung ho and like but yeah. My sister said, "Well, there's not much point getting pissy about shit when you know it's happening, and you being pissy isn't going to make it go any faster. So wait." And I was like, "Fine." So I mellowed out a bit, but I don't know. I was quite worried about it. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, you haven't seen him since before, and before he was dying, and it's like, well, how is he gonna look now? And like my mum was like, oh, I hope they don't make him up to look weird and stuff, and it's like, we're not gonna fucking put a Jason mask on him, are they? But yeah, yeah, it is one of them. I'd like to say, I don't know how many of you have had to do this, or if you ever did it. Like, if to be fair, if anyone said, "Oh no, I couldn't go see so and so when they died because the idea of it was traumatizing," and it's like 100. Like my sister says, she doesn't want to do it. She's starting to rethink that a little bit, but I left that up to that's her business. I'm not going to force her to do shit. But yeah, when like I say, they tell you what's gonna happen, and you know you're mentally prepared. Which again, I was trying not to be, but it's a bit difficult when you're really good at being mentally prepared for shit. What do you want? You can only do so much. But yeah, there's this sort of really bizarre moment when I walked in, and like I said, I saw him. They dressed him up, and they'd put a plaster over his eye cancer, which I really appreciated. That is fucking minging. Like, you know, no, I'm not saying like, the cancer that he had was particularly. Oh no, because then it made no. All cancer sucks, but when you had to sit there and watch it and watch him deal with it, it was really, really awful. But they covered it up, which kind of was so. That's fair. I appreciated that. Let's not have a complete warts and all, because that one, you can do without that. You don't need that to add to the effect. But yeah, like I say, you walk in, and then there's this like minute-long period I had when my mum saw him, looked like she was about to cry. My stepdad saw him, and like he was comforting mum. We had a big fucking like hug, and like the entire time that we're in here, it's because I'm waiting for something. Obviously, I've said the last 3 videos now that I've been waiting for something like nice, concrete, like basically just a foundation that I can build shit off of. And you go in and like say, you know, you mentally prepare yourself for it, and your brain just basically just goes, what do I do? What do I do? How do I fit? I don't even know how to fit. This is loaded. Shit. It's sad. Happy. Sad. I don't fucking know. And like I say, for a minute, I was like, am I going to burst into tears or am I about to burst out laughing? I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. For 1 minute, I was just in like every single feeling at the same time. It was just bombarded. And I just sort of sat there like, And then, yeah, after that minute, I just went... It's like you're basically holding onto a massive balloon, and you just let it go, and it just goes... Basically like that. If you want. I bet that sounded really good in your headphones. But yeah, I'm fucking exhausted. Holy shit! I feel like it feels like the fucking wrecking ball that I've been dragging around most of my life just got dropped, and I've just gone, oh. So yeah, I kind of needed that. Fucking hell, I didn't quite realise how much I needed that. I'm still kind of annoyed it took 2 fucking weeks, but you know, what do you want? It's done now. I mean, it's like, obviously, that's not the end of it. Like, I mean, I'm going to be going to counselling for the next, few weeks at the very least. I don't know. We'll see how far I get. But, yeah. Like, just that sort of sense of, like, oh, fucking hell, it's done. And I don't know how many of you sort of, there's always that part of me that's like, oh, someone would look at you and think, oh, you're not feeling sad, why? And it's like, mate. In fact, there's this, my dad has this friend who keeps trying to understand me and my sister and keeps trying to put himself in our shoes, and he just, fucking hell, man. You couldn't miss the mark much harder if you tried. In fact, my sister got a massive, block. He loves block emails. Like, he fucking loves an email, this man. And he's a lovely bloke. I ain't got a problem with him. But it's like, he keeps trying to understand. And it's like, I appreciate you trying, but I wouldn't want you to. So can you stop? You have your vision of this wonderful man, God rays. Ha! And I have this vision of this man, which is like, it's a bit of a prick. That's fine. You know, it doesn't have to be both. We can have our takeaway from it, and you can have yours. That's brilliant. It's good that we can see, like, one person was so fucking confusing that we can see him in 2 completely different lights. But he keeps trying to meet us halfway with it. It's like, Sorry, it's just made me completely lose my train of thought. But yeah, it's, I don't know. Sorry, I am absolutely fucking exhausted right now. I should really probably go and have a fucking nap. Because it's like, it's just, like, it's that sort of thing, you spend so long trying to be really super duper fucking strong and trying to get through it, and you do, and then you, like I said, you just sort of hit this point where it's like, when I need to, I can't. So, but yeah, it's going to take time. It's not going to be just a simple, like, oh yeah, I've just dropped 20 years of shit. Like, now it's great. Now that I've seen that, it's great. It's not. I wouldn't say ideally, but it's like, there's a certain part of me, it's like, really shouldn't ever be great, but it's like, at least I can come to terms with it and fucking at this point, I feel like I can take the box off the top shelf if you want. Because I have a foundation. The foundation is that I felt relief. I was expecting to just burst into tears like a bitch. A big old bitch. If you cry, it's fine. That's your business. But I was really expecting to just drop, basically. But, no, I didn't like that. Just fucking let go. Which is really weird. It's a very, very strange fucking feeling. And the other thing for me, because like, I called my sister up when I got back to tell her about it, because like I said, she was really fucking worried that I was just gonna snap in two and just go back to being shit again, which is fair. But I was saying, like, there are 2 things that I was expecting to happen, like, just in the back of my mind. I wasn't expecting it, obviously, but 2 things that the potential in the back of my mind were, because, like, you look at it, like, they sort of make him up to look as lifelike as possible, and they actually did a really fucking good job, to be fair. So there's that sort of, like, I sort of touched his forehead and stuff like that, and I was sort of, saying goodbye, and I was really half expecting him to just go, "Wait! Ah, you fucking arsehole! I got you good, son!" And I'd be like, a significant portion of me was just expecting this to be an incredibly elaborate hoax. But no, the second thing I was expecting a really gassy fart. Like, I'm having this really somber, tender moment with him, and you do this. But no, none of that. Which is good. I would have laughed if he'd farted, though. Oh dear. But yeah. The other thing that kind of hit home for me, which is like, because my dad's he's had a breathing problem his entire fucking life. So basically, well, not his entire life, but for my lifetime with him, he's had a breathing problem. And so all of my memories and I associate with him is he has a giant fucking oxygen machine just whirring away in the background constantly. That's just on. That's his life. And he always had a cannula that went around his ears and into his nose. And like, when you walk in and instead of hearing this really loud whirring machine just pumping oxygen into him, it's just quiet. And like I say, when I had a little moment to myself, that's kind of what really hit home. Just silence, just peace, just that relief. Whether he's in a better place or not, whether you believe it, whether I don't care. He's not in a bed anymore. He's not trapped in a bed. Just in a completely useless body where the most amazing thing he could do was just about lift up a small cup of orange juice and sip out of it. And even then, he'd probably end up spilling it 9 times out of 10. When he was so weak that he couldn't even grab my hand when I was trying to hold it when he was dying. He's not there anymore. So... But yeah, like, fucking, I'm astonished I actually made it home in my car. Jesus, I was basically fucking high out of my bonds. Just this massive wave of, this massive wave of relief. Just like, fuck. So yeah. I mean, like I say, that's my take home from it. Just... At least I have something now. And I can take that forward, and I can come to terms with the rest of this shit. And hopefully just get on with my life. So, there's that. I am happy I did it. Like I say, if anyone said, no, I don't want to go do that, that's fine. I'd respect that. Like, if my sister turns around and says, nah, I still don't want to go do it, fine. Because... I can see why that would be really hard, but it's like it's also I think I don't think I actually explained it, but it's like I said it to my counsellor when I saw her last Tuesday. It's like I've had had a lot of dogs in my lifetime, and dogs obviously have a much smaller lifespan than us humanoids do. Good, she's gonna have a short lifespan in a minute, about half an hour long. She's wasting away. But yeah, there's this sort of like, we've had multiple dogs. Like I say, when one dog dies or one dog's being put down, like none of them, I don't think any of them. No, a couple went out of our hands. But when you put a dog down, what you do is you bring in the other dogs that you've got so that they can, go see the body, sniff it, and then that's how they understand it. Whereas it's like, if you don't give them that, then they're just sat there going, oh, where's my friend gone? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh, is she ever going to come back? Ever? I don't know. I'm just going to have to sit here and wait them. So it's like, it's hard. It's, like I say, again, going with dogs, like, the dog's obviously down, but it's like, at least it's like I was saying, where's my dignity? That's my dignity. Being able to see that and comprehend it and understand it. And like I say, in my own unique way of when he was alive, you'd associate it with just a giant machine that's just pumping shit into him. and when he's dead, it's not there. He's just him. That's a very I actually really like that. It's sort of like it's a really clear understanding and distinction between him being alive and him being dead. So yeah, I'm really glad I feel really fortunate that I had a better experience of it than a lot of other people probably do. Because there are stories. My mum says when she went to go see her dad, in that situation, he looked absolutely nothing like how he did. Like, they completely fucked it up, and she was like, well, that was really horrible for me. It's just like, what is this weird puppet that you presented to me as my dad? But they did do a good job. I did have one thought while I was there as well, which it sounds a bit fucking horrible and a bit dire, I'll admit, but it's he looked a lot thinner. Like, my dad was a bit of a chubby bastard, and he had lost quite a lot of weight, obviously, because they regulated his diet, and he had lost a lot of weight just sitting in a bed doing nothing. But when I went to go see him today, like, he looked really thin. I don't know if that's just part of the I don't want to know the fucking process, quite frankly. They can keep that one to themselves. I don't really want to know what they do with a dead body. If they just chuck it in a freezer, if they just rip everything out, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want to fucking do it. Let me anywhere near that. You know what? They're money-grubbing pricks, but they can have that bit. That's their... You know what? If they want a fee for that, they can have a fee for that, because fuck, I don't want to do it. But this really horrible thought I had, which was like... you know those fucking adverts where it's like, oh, so-and-so discovers blur, doctors hate. I was like, oh, man from care home discovers amazing weight loss answer. Doctors hate him. And I was like, I shouldn't think that, and yet I have done. Does that make me evil? I don't think so. At least I could find some humor in it. But that was it. It's like, I wasn't sad. I mean, obviously it was a strange rush of emotions for a minute there. Like, I couldn't, my legs were fucking shaking. I could literally barely support myself. Like, my mum and my stepdad are like 5'5", and I'm 6 foot. I was kind of supporting myself on them. I was like, my head are falling over. But yeah, when your brain finally figures out how exactly it wants to go about this business, and you just get this fucking weird, what it's like. It's like, I describe it as relief. It's really difficult. It's just like, you just drop something, and it's something that I felt like I needed to drop, and I'm very glad that I dropped it. And I'm very glad that I went and did that, because, like I say, just for the last 2 weeks, it's still been like, it hasn't quite sunk in. Is this real? Is this actually happening? I mean, I'm going to sign all of these forms, and I'm going to go and talk to a funeral place and all this guff, but it still doesn't quite feel legit. And then it's like, yeah, there's a nice finality to that. So I'm glad I got that done. But anyway, I'm going to take my weekend to Mong and just sort of go bleh, because I'm gonna need it. And then Monday I've got more counselling. Tuesday I have a little bit more Mong time, and then I'm gonna go back to work, because, to be honest, it's like, I haven't really been able to do any grieving or anything like that the last 2 weeks. I've just sort of been sitting here in lockdown mode, getting pissed off and angry at everything, because it's something. But yeah, now's the time to just sort of basically just decompose into a pile of goo for a couple of days and just get on with it. But I'm glad it's done. And like, I'm not worried about the funeral or anything like that. That's its own thing that will be taken care of with better company, so I'm happy with that. Almost there. Let me just wrap up, and then, you know what, I'll give you your food, because you're such a spoiled little shit. But yeah, I don't, like I say, I mean, this isn't the end of it for me, obviously. Like, just because I've seen him in a casket and I've gotten my, you know, just line in the sand, it doesn't mean that actually solving the problem for me is done yet. I don't know, and it's going to take time for it to actually properly be a thing. It's irrefutable now, but it's still, just to actually properly just decompress, it's going to take a bit. So yeah, I might. I'll probably. I'm not going to do them nearly as frequently, but every now and again, I'm probably going to pop up with one of these things, go over how I feel, where I'm at, how we doing. Probably when my sister comes back, probably need to do one of those. Yeah. So there you go. That is where I'm at right now. Finally hit that point that I needed to hit. But yeah, I will now go and slob. Also, PU's fucking impossible. I'm still using my it fucking, just as an ending thing, my Charizard team doesn't bloody work. Because in NU, there's loads of fucking water types with your Slowkings and your Bros and your Vaporeons and your Seismitoads, whereas in PU, most water types are shit. It's like, I don't really need fucking free grass moves now. Fuck. Felt like I need it. If you have any ideas, fuck it. Gives me something to mull over for a couple of days. Anyway, yeah. Cheers for all the supportive comments and stuff. I do appreciate it. You've all been wonderful people. As you usually are. You're all very, very friendly, apart from Gwath, who's a bit of a knobber, but he has been nice. He has been nice, and I do appreciate it. But yeah, so there you go. Yeah, I'll see you all in a bit. Peace.